Matt, just how your team responded on the boards after Thursday,
Right.
and just how much it seemed like they took a lot of pride in crashing those boards tonight.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job, just, being quick to the basketball. At Ohio State, I didn't think we were very physical in our box outs. I thought we did a better job there. We still had a couple lapses, but, being able to out-rebound somebody by, 23, is pretty impressive. And obviously we had a matchup and they were shorthanded without Zed. And that actually, that obviously helped us because he's a very good player, very productive player. In both games, he's really out. He only played 3 to 4 minutes in the first game when we played him. But no, it was a good bounce back game for us, on the glass. We have to be consistent in that area. And we have for most of the year. I think we've had 3 games where we've been out rebounded.
Hey, Matt, I asked your players about Jenkins. What has he meant to you this season? I mean, I saw Bray got 2 fouls. You got him in early this game, but what has he meant to this team for you all season?
Yeah, more than anything, he set the tone, with our guys because things haven't went his way in terms of how much he plays. And anytime you come to a new program, you're looking, to win, but you're also looking for your opportunity. And, he's just been a really good leader for us. He's got a great personality, puts in the work, but there's a lot of games where, you just want more minutes as a player. And, how you handle that is so important for a team. And, he's been very, very positive and he stayed with it even though it's been frustrating for him. And when you do that, you're going to play well. When you get a little bit more of an opportunity, you're going to play well. But he's just been a great teammate and a great leader for us.
Matt, you went back to the starting lineup. You had the first 7 games of the year, and then Caleb, after Mason's injury, started the last 20. What was it about putting Mason back out there, and then did you feel like you got the desired result from both of those guys?
Yeah, Caleb was under the weather in the Maryland game, and then he missed a practice after the Maryland game. They're both really good players, and we could go, either way, and we have. But I think the fact that they both rebounded was good. Mason has 10 rebounds in 18 minutes, which is pretty hard to do. And Caleb gets 6 rebounds. So from that slot, you're getting, 16 rebounds along with someone like Zach. So that's going to be a, pretty positive night on the glass. But, just missed that practice. And, we were thinking about, Caleb has played well before off the bench. And each guy's a little bit different. And sometimes you kind of overthink things as coaches about what would be, the right thing. I kind of let things kind of organically happen when Mason had to miss those 3 games, because he was injured, and then we just stayed with Caleb. But it's more important to finish, right? And I think that's the number one thing. Mason's kept a great attitude. Caleb's always had a great attitude, and that stuff's contagious. And that's what we got to keep having. Just like David Jenkins has been, really positive, even though he hasn't gotten the minutes, that he wants. He still puts the team ahead of himself. And that's what's important.
Matt, how do you feel like your team played with pace today, especially breaking the press and get a rebound?
Well, we knew they would, they have a 2-2-1 and they would get aggressive. They really got aggressive to start with. I thought our guys were casual to start the game. Those 2 turnovers right there kind of gave them a spark and got them going. Then after that, I thought we settled in and did a good job. You just got to handle the ball. If they're going to come up and double, just advance the basketball and go to the rim. And we had a couple of drives that we missed right there, but if they're just going to open things up, then the back line help is the guy that's worried about Zach. So now you're going to have avenues. You've got to be able to make those plays or penetrate and kick or try to hit Zach, while they're pressing us. So if you could advance it and then throw it inside, and they're so spread out coming back from that press, it really puts a stressor on them with Zach right there. That's pretty hard to manage. But I thought our guys did a good job after the first couple of minutes.
Coach, going into this game, you emphasized just the collective effort on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Controlling runs and things like that after previous games. Just, you hold Ohio State, their largest run is just 5 today. Just what did you see on that end of the court, top to bottom from your team? Yeah, more than anything, just not turning the basketball over and allowing them to play in transition. The best stretches they had during the game is when we helped them and turn the basketball over. We knew they would go to ISOs with Suing and Sensabaugh. We just wanted to have kind of a collective, approach to that and make sure 10 eyes are on the basketball, and that's what they're seeing when they're getting it, and then try to take up their space. That, Sensabaugh's going to wheel and deal. Suing's a strong left-handed driver.
But you got to get them out of rhythm. When those guys both get to their spots and get in rhythm, they had a lot of success against us in Columbus doing that. And that's what we really wanted to try to fight them a little bit more, so when they do get to those pull-ups are still tough twos, but they're not at 8 to 10 feet. They're more around 16 to 18 feet.
Coach, is this kind of exactly what the team needed, just to exhale a little bit after some tough road games and some tough atmospheres?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. If you have a choice where you want to play, everybody's going to want to play at home. But for us, I think it was difficult because we had a road win non-conference, and then we won our first 6 road games in conference. So when you look at our record on the road, it's not a bad record. But when you're 6-0 and now you're 6-3, you look at it a little bit differently. And just beating ourselves at times. You don't want to take anything away from your opponent, but when you're turning the basketball over, the combination at Maryland wasn't the turnovers as much as it was not being able to knock down shots and kind of stop the bleeding. We never were able to stop the bleeding, and we're in a good position up 8 with like 15, 16 minutes to go, and then it was all downhill from there. And we just have to do a better job of kind of stopping that run. I think that's what you're alluding to. Their only run, or their best run of the game was 5 points, and if you can do that, you're going to be pretty successful.
Matt, how do you approach this week? You got a week off before IU.
Right.
You got the end of the year. You guys need rest, but you still want to get in a position to be sharp. So how do you balance this week now?
Yeah, we'll take off Monday and then practice Tuesday, then take off Wednesday, and then practice Thursday and Friday. And obviously I'll shoot around on Saturday, so that's kind of our plan. I don't like to go 3 days in a row before you play a game. I think just from a mental standpoint, you can be sharp. You are who you are at this time of the year. You can make a little bit of adjustments and a little bit of change, but the meat and potatoes of what you've done is going to stay the same. And just trying to get ourselves, ready to play in the game and worry about yourself more than anything. Like you got to know your opponent, you got to know their tendencies and whatever. But just taking care of business, hitting singles. We can't hit home runs all the time. You see that a little bit in the first half, like taking some tough shots. When you don't have to, I think that's going to really be the focus. Just being competitive and continue to rebound and take care of the basketball. But more than anything, just sharing the ball and taking good shots.
Same last one.
Matt, Zach kind of alluded to behind him, he doesn't think the rest of the guys get the offensive credit that they deserve. And then tonight you get 9 guys with 4 or more points.
Right.
This kind of, as a collective effort, they're not going to have the great stats, but everybody on this team can play basketball and provide offensively.
Yeah, just trying to have that balance. And I think, your percentages shooting are always going to be better when you make good decisions. You're putting the ball on the money when you're passing, you're not throwing the ball at someone's feet or you got to put the ball in position where they can score it. And I think that for us is just having good ball movement, getting good screening actions, getting the ball from side to side, no matter what we're doing, whether we're throwing the ball in the post or playing through ball screens. I think that's the most important thing for our team. And just, take what the defense gives you. If they're going to allow him to be one-on-one, a lot of other guys aren't going to have as many opportunities. If they're going to come and double, then we're going to pass the basketball and then get into rotation. So just don't come in and each game really get locked into how you feel about what's going on is how you're doing scoring-wise. There's a lot of other things that affect winning and losing, and just try to be a winning player. And I think for the most part we've been able to do that. So go ahead, you had your question. You're bringing it up.
Thank you.
No problem.
Preparing for Ross-Ade this time compared to last time, they seem to be in a very different place.
Yes.
Coming off a big win, and now obviously the losses will stack up on them. Was it any different preparing for them this time compared to last time, given how the season has played out since then?
Yeah, I think in theory, from your perspective, I think that would it would kind of make sense that it would be different, but their personnel is the same, and they're still dangerous. I know they haven't had the success that they wanted, but they're still dangerous. They still have good pieces. What I always tell our guys is always look at each individual player that you're going to get the best version of that guy. So some guy averages 16 and some guy averages 6. Think that guy's high is 30 and the guy that averages 6 is high as 16. Think you're getting those versions. Don't look at him like, man, he's not. Because a lot of guys, are capable of doing things, but you got to play roles in this game. And so now that might not be something that they're consistent with, but they can have that individual kind of outlier game, and that can beat you. And so look at them that way. And I think our guys did a good job with that. But Sensabaugh's a tough cover. He can go and get his shot. You know, Suing's a guy when he can get going and get in that rhythm. You know, he's a tough cover. Like both of those guys were hard for us to stop. We did a better job this time, but the circumstances are different that you're kind of alluding to. I think that's harder. I think when you're in a little bit of a rut, when it starts to go against you, you get that here we go again, you know, type feeling. But you allow them to get their head up and say they're up 9.5. Now it's a total different game. And so I thought we did a good job of managing the game and being in a good position. Then I thought we were ready to go the start of the second half, unlike the start of the first half. Yep, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.